Hi, I'm Becky from So Sweet School, and today I want to show you how to make a really fun quilt block using the Baby Lock Triumph serger. I have my machine set up with a 3-thread overlock stitch, and it's a narrow. And if you have forgotten how to set up your serger in a 3-thread format, you can refer to your handy stitch guide. This technique can be used with any serger in a 3-thread or 4-thread configuration, and it can also be done the same way, the same technique, using a regular sewing machine and a 1/4 inch stitch. But it's a little more fun and interesting using the serger. So let's get started. So this is our quilt block that we're going to be creating. We need 3 pieces of the white, so here are my 3 pieces here. And then I have 2 opposite colors for my background. So I have my 2 blocks here. These are cut at 3.5 inches, but any size block works for this. And then obviously your finished block is just a little bit bigger. So the way this works is we want to take our center block and we want to fold it wrong sides together, just in half like this. And I want to take my background block and I want to align the raw edge of the fold up at the top. The fold will be in the middle, and this will be also aligned on the right side. And then I want to take my other bow tie section, and this is the right side of this one, and I want it right side down, aligned at the top and the edge, and I'm going to sew down this right side. These are right side together. I have my machine set up for 3-thread overlock narrow. This will also work with a 4-thread wide, just so that all of your seams are the same width. And I want to align the edge here so that it runs exactly along my knife. A little bit may cut off, but not very much. I just want to barely skim the whiskers off. So I'm going to lift. You don't have to lift. You can also kind of lift up your foot here to get it started. And I'm going to sew. So here's my finished seam. I have sewn along this right side here. Now we need to open this up. And we are going to sew the other side. The main thing we want to do is to make sure that the opposite color here is on the top, so that the red is on here. I want the white to be on this side, face down, meaning right side down toward the fabric, and I'm going to align it to the folded fabric, keeping all of this aligned. And my other background fabric then will be on top. So we have our sandwich right sides together and the fold in the middle, and I'm going to sew down this side. Again, I'm going to make the same kind of stitch along the side. After you've made your second seam, you have something that looks a little bit like this. So now is the magic that turns it into the quilt block. So what you want to do is take this middle section and open it up so that your seams match together. And the only tricky part here is you want this to fold up, and you do want this little straight edge. So look for this straight edge, and then it's going to angle down. And you want the same thing on this other side, a straight edge, and it will angle down. And you want to make sure this is aligned up at the very top edge, raw edge. Fold this together so our centers are meeting and we're nesting. One seam is going one way and the other seam is going the other way. And it is very helpful to use some little clips here to hold that in place. And I'm going to do the same on the other side, making sure that those are all nested together, and clip. And then we take this to the machine. we are going to be sewing along this line right here. So now over at the machine, I'm sewing down this seam right here, and again I'm just barely cutting off the fabric, but the key to this is to make sure that your little folded section is all the way up here to the top. So do what you hold it there so that it all catches. And don't worry if this you don't get this the first or second or even the third time, because it takes a little practice. Now at this point, I'm going to pause, and I just want to make sure that my seams here are nested, one going one way and one going the other way. And at the same time, I want to make sure that this little folded edge stays right up here, close to my raw edge. And this part can be a little tricky. Take your time. Hold it down. Going to pause. And we have this seam. So we have just finished this seam right here, and when we open it up and press it flat, we have our nice bow tie block here with the fun little puff area. You will press this if you want, just to get the seams out. This block ends up being a very distinguished Southern bow tie block. So these are a few of the sampler blocks that I have made, and you could make this into a large quilt. You can just make it into anything that you want. And again, you can do some creative reorganization and be very creative with it. The quilting, you could then quilt just in the white area. Sometimes some people have left this puffy so you have some texture. It's just a fun way to use up some scraps. Thank you for joining us today in making this cute bow tie block. I look forward to seeing you next time when we will be covering another fun, simple block made with either the serger or the sewing machine.